Oh, hello, Elizabeth. How are you?
Hello, Jeremy. Thank you for having me.
I'm excited to have you. So uh, we've met before. You have a great reputation in our advertising, media, marketing ecosystem, commerce. The list goes on and on and on. And we've talked a couple times. We've said hi, but just had a wonderful pre-recording coffee session. And I have the pleasure of getting to know you. But Elizabeth Donovan, tell us, who are you? Who do I have the pleasure of speaking with right now? Who's our audience listening to?
Your audience is listening to this is very nobody ever asked me that question. Who am I?
Yeah,
So
who are
when
you?
depends who you're asking, but if you're asking me, I would say I'm an empathetic leader, proud mother of two girls, amazing wife to my husband of 13 years,
Nice.
and a supporter of the next generation media and data leaders.
That was pretty easy. All right, we'll call it an episode. Thanks, everybody.
Have a great day.
um, so you were telling me just about your daughters, about your husband, but something that you posted on LinkedIn recently that I saw was just the and what you went through as a daughter with your father several years back, and then also you were just telling me about your mom's health, and so if you want to I think it would help for people off the bat as an empathetic leader to just explain a bit more of just the components of leadership that many don't necessarily see or hear about. If you can tell us a little bit through that aspect of a story, and then we'll go more about you and just how you mentor people, how you lead, and so on and so forth.
Well, like anything and anyone, all of us are fighting a battle or going through something that other people don't know. It's really surface level when we're at work, right? How are you? Oh, great, living the dream. But I posted that because I was really passionate about helping the community and I wanted people to see me in another lens. And I wanted to see others in another lens. And you can't believe the outreach. I can't believe how many people liked and side messaged me. Thank you so much. That post resonated with me. We don't take a moment to really take a breath, see people's challenges. It's kind of like taboo. We don't want to talk about it at work.
Right.
But,
Right.
but we need to. We need to support people. Especially now we're in the sandwich generation. We're taking care of our children. We're taking care of our parents. We're just trying to do the best. And let's face it, it hasn't been easy. We had to go through COVID, all these crazy times. And I think it's important to really get to know your team and for my team to get to know me. So I put that out there because I want to support people because we're all fighting a battle that others can't see, whether it's health, losing a loved one. Grief comes in so many forms. And for me, sometimes on the outside, you can't judge a book by its character. It's like, oh, Elizabeth's killing it. Look at her. She's on stage.
Yep.
Or, it looks great because we don't want to really post about our challenges, but our challenges are actually what makes us relatable and stronger
Mm-hmm.
and, help us lead better. So I think I've completely changed who I was going through the loss of my father. He was perfectly fine. And then within 4 months, he passed away and he was in hospice for actually 3 of those 4 months, paralyzed. I was feeding him. You have to think a man who came to this country at 6'4", now he was 6'4", 300 pounds. But when he
Wow.
came at 10 years old, not knowing the language, coming here, having to build a life with his family, who they were fleeing a terrible situation.
Where were they
And
fleeing? Where were they fleeing from? And tell us a
so
little bit more about that.
I never really talk about this as you're getting like the exclusive, but my grandmother, Elizabeth Neubauer, who I'm named after, unfortunately, she was fleeing the Holocaust and all the terrible things that have happened from there. So much so that she witnessed both of her brothers and their loss right in front of her at a young
Yep.
age. So my
Sorry.
grandfather, who actually was German, he was in the resistance and actually saved her.
Wow. Wow.
Or, yeah,
Wow.
it's really intense.
That's intense. It's amazing.
And that trauma
It's
lives
important,
within
but
our
it's
blood.
really important in this day and age and where we are within society, because I didn't know this, and that's why I asked for you to share that kind of story. So thank you. So keep on
No,
going
of
about the
course.
trauma.
I think that because of that lifestyle and how my dad came here, not knowing the language, and then he really had no money coming here. He put himself through college. He became a CPA, which my mother also was an accountant. She's retired now, but he then left that job and became a jeweler and worked and had his own store in the Diamond District for decades. Something he was passionate about, jewelry, antiquing, even till he really worked up until he passed.
That's awesome. So as parents that for the careers that they got into, what were some lessons that you picked up on from your father before he passed and from your mother, who you said lives with you now, just so we have a better understanding of just the apple not falling far from the tree?
I would say their work ethic, from a young age, like they did very well in the 80s and 90s. So I was 10 years younger than my sister. So by the time I came around, they were doing well. They had a beautiful home in the suburb of Queens, but they never acted as if, could have anything. Probably I give my kids too much. Probably I'm guilty of that.
With you,
Um, but they made me start working at 13. I worked at a pizzeria.
love
I
this.
joke like I had to clean the bathrooms in
Sure.
the pizzeria.
Sure.
And it was difficult, but my mom always said, you have to pay your car insurance. When you want a car, you have to pay. You want a cell phone, or a beeper I had first, but always had to pay my bill from 14, 15 years old.
Bathrooms need to be cleaned.
They need to be cleaned. And I
Gotta
did a very
start
good
from
job.
bottom.
I think a lot of that work ethic, by the time I was in college, I had like 3 jobs. I was working for the school. I was working at the bank as a teller, which was at the time North Fork Bank, and they merged with Capital One, and which landed me an internship at Capital One when I was in college. So
That's amazing.
I'm very proud of that. But
You should be.
I always have been known for working hard.
So you should be. Who took a bet on you early? Who were some mentors that helped you out early in your career, where you were rolling up your sleeves, but sought out expert advice, mentorship?
Yeah.
And
So I would say very early in my career at Discovery, Vincent McDonald was there, and he was leading HR at the time. And I was there about 3.5 years. It was a different time then. There was 100, 200 of us as sales planners. It was like the good old days.
God, that's crazy.
Could you imagine those days? Like we would go out every night and then somehow make it to our desk at 8:30 in the morning in a full suit.
I started my career at Clear Channel and would drive down to the south side of Chicago, and I would be in a suit at 8 a.m., working 100% commissions only. And
I definitely looked like I was the CEO, like in my 20s, because that's how we dressed.
Sure.
And now that I'm on the agency side, all these years later, I'm like, oh, wow, I could wear sneakers.
Totally. Well, so why don't you talk about that? Go through a little bit of your career trajectory, your progression of starting on the sales side. You've been on the brand side. You're on the agency side now. Walk us through it for a moment or two.
Of course. So you spoke about mentors. So Vincent McDonald at Discovery, he went to AccuWeather. So when he was there building the team, he then ran HR, but he moved his strategy. But when I came on, he's like, Elizabeth, I have an opportunity at AccuWeather, and this is before digital era, right? And he's like, do you want to come over and do digital and mobile? And I'm like, what's that? Coming from TV, right? Is this the future? It's so funny that we say that. But at that time, I was like really ahead of the curve. So I went there and I worked for a woman named Marie Spett, who was like programmatic before its time. So she really gave me lots of opportunities to grow. I got promoted 3 times while I was there. I started as account management, account executive, and then I really worked up my way up to leading sales and technology and, brought in the first data partnership, how weather affects your health, how weather affects voter turnout. And that was all in 2015. A lot of the work that the brands are starting to do with their loyalty programs now, I have been doing this for almost a decade.
Yeah. Legit a decade. Okay. So then what about after AccuWeather?
So after AccuWeather, I was fortunate enough, Andy Kaufman was at Marriott and he was standing up this media network and he's like interviewing people. And as luck had it, maybe not, maybe hard work, but I went to Bethesda, interviewed with him, and I was like, I have to do this. I have to create this opportunity. I've already done omni-channel sales, technology, and data. I'm the perfect person for this role. So 5 years, created a platform, first ever in the travel space, across multiple omni-channel solutions with first-party data. So in-room, email, Wi-Fi portal. It's never been done before.
Nice.
But all of my experience leading up to that brought me to that role. And what an amazing opportunity that was to, see change in the industry during COVID, bringing a vision to light during time where things were very difficult, especially for travel.
I was going to say, especially for travel, especially during COVID. And if you were the one that was building, hiring, leading, was there a single moment when you realized that you could lead others rather than just do the work yourself, so to speak?
I think that's when I really realized, and how we started this podcast. It's like, you have to bring the human element into management. And I think seeing my sister's a first responder. She's a PA. My husband worked all through COVID. So doing something like creating an opportunity within the ecosystem for top line revenue seemed like a piece of cake at the time. In comparison, my sister works at, in aftercare for CityMD. They had 90% of all COVID. I think 70 to 90% of all COVID cases they diagnosed in New York.
Wow.
Which was, they were
a lot. Yeah.
going through it too. But to see that firsthand, it was really an eye opener for me and my leadership and how I could drive to be better and support people. But, bringing that human element was so important for me. It always has been. I always joke, I had a tape recorder. I used to press the buttons when I was 8 years old. And I always just loved to talk to people and hear their story, kind of like what you're doing.
I was going to say that, I'm sitting here nodding. It is what we're doing, except we're not 8 or 9 years old. But it's the same kind of joy of listening to stories and storytelling, and having empathetic people come on and talk about just their trials, their tribulations, where they've succeeded, where they've failed, but also recognizing the story that comes with it. Because as you alluded in the very beginning, there's no set, you didn't necessarily say these words, but there's not necessarily a linear path. It's all based on the relationships that you make throughout the longer journey, throughout our lives. When you think about just how you operate as a leader now, while you're leading a large team at Acxiom, how do you mentor differently today than perhaps how you were mentored when you were a sales assistant at Discovery nearly 20 years ago? Would love to hear a bit more about just how times change and what you've seen.
Well, times change, one, because we were in the office 5 days a week and we had more of that connection and getting to know people. So I think you really have to create a space for your team. So went through it with COVID where, most of us worked from home for a year or 2 years. I went back to office hybrid and have maintained hybrid the last several years. And I think that's the perfect balance, honestly.
Yep.
Get that in-person time and then, to do the other things like to pick up your child from school. I think that's invaluable and it's good for my children and it's good for me and my husband. I would say the way I thought about leadership and how I've changed since then is that even when I'm going into a meeting with someone that is in leadership and things may not go the way that we all want them to go. I teach everyone, especially for that executive presence,
Yep.
that it's okay to have a difference of opinion as long as you're collaborating. And if your idea doesn't get pushed through, doesn't mean it won't always not get pushed through. I think when you foster collaboration, it opens up conversations. And I find that, while leading teams, but also giving my team the chance to shine, I don't always need to be the one presenting. I have brilliant people on at the agency side. I have to say, this is my first time in my 40s on the agency side. And people are like, now you decide to go there? And I said, yes, of course. And during an acquisition, I should definitely do that. But what mattered to me when I was looking for new roles and I was interviewing, I actually had a few opportunities where either I got the role or I was close to getting an offer. And I went to CES and I said, you know what? I'm going to interview all my leaders at CES and I'm going to pick what company I'm going to work for. And I'm kind of taking, that part of the process back. And I think everyone should be more like, how is this going to be better for my life or work life? And it's not everything is an easy straight line, or
Right.
You should really think about what I always say, write a list of 5 things that you must have in your future employer. And then some are deal breakers and then some are not.
I agree. It's like when you're going in and looking for a house, you want to find 80% of the things that are just the absolute, 4 out of 5 things check the box.
Yep.
There's that one thing, but that's life. Nothing is ever perfect. And it's the same thing for finding a home, dating, marriage, friendships, anything, everything. Like this utopian mindset of everything's going to be 100%, like complete bullshit. If you can hit,
Definitely not.
if you can hit 80% of,
I'm happy with 60%, honestly, of any of those situations.
Totally.
But it's the mindset of like going into it, like saying, it's not going to be perfect.
Right.
Life is not perfect.
No.
But there are those non-negotiables. And that for me is hybrid work. That for me is working with people who allow you to have a voice.
So I love that you're hitting on both of these, because both of these areas are incredibly important to what we're building at OhHello, specifically when it comes to working with hybrid teams, where hybrid teams are using our platform on a daily basis. Hundreds and hundreds of people are using it on a daily basis, not on a daily basis, but are using the platform. Mm-hmm. And then also just the element of going and having a bit of that balance, that personal and professional balance, where you can, like you said, to take your kids, pick them up from an activity, whatever it might be. I guess what keeps you grounded through all this change, both personally and professionally? Is it a hybrid environment? Is it just setting those expectations, knowing that, hey, if you get...
So when you think about it, and this took me a long time, because I would say I'm kind of a workaholic, and now more than ever, I need to be grounded because there are so many responsibilities in every facet of my life. So one, I make sure that there are just, like with looking for a job, there are non-negotiables for my family. I'm never going to miss graduation. I'm not going to miss important days. I will take my vacation. I never 100% abided by that. But I work at Acxiom and they really cultivate as a place of your well-being. We get one wellness day a month.
That's amazing.
I missed you, but I already put it on the calendar today.
That's great.
It's so important to take time for yourself and take time for your family. The work will always be there and it's going to be awesome because that's the way I show up. Like things are going to be hard all the time. But if you just come in saying, you know what, we're problem solvers and we're not going to sulk if things don't go our way, but we're going to do our best to give the best outcomes for our clients. So for me, it's like I take 1 or 2 hours a day and this is my time. And I say nothing can interrupt this time. So I'm starting to journal again. I love to write. Nice. I'm a storyteller. So I want to find things that made me happy when I was younger. So that for me is something special for myself. And then I do special things with my children. make sure every night we're reading together as a family. And if
Love that.
we're not reading together, we're drawing together, we're talking about our day. I give advice to people like, don't ask yes or no questions to your children. Say, so tell me what the best part of your day was, or,
Open-ended.
what's open-ended questions. What do you love about science? What do you love about being in the play? And that really sparks amazing conversation for our family. And sometimes I wish they'd ask me a question. So-
But
but
that's what this is for. This is therapeutic, and those that are also listening, it helps
and then
them.
health has been very important to me since I left my last role. I've been really focusing on my health. I've lost in the last year about 30 pounds.
Badass.
I've been walking 3 miles every few days, and I joined the gym. So it's just really focused on like overall well-being.
Well, health is something you can never get back, and I can assure you, as most people that are midway through their careers or in exec level or senior leadership levels, that we realize is, and then when you're younger, you're like, oh, it's okay, it doesn't matter. And then once you hit around 40, your upper 30s, and you look down, you look around, you're like, ooh, I've been sitting for a long time. Or like, my neck is like that. Or, wow, my pants don't fit like they used to. There are elements that I've been through too. You just got to make time for yourself to
Yep.
go for. My dog is sitting behind me right now. Take the dog out for a walk, or go
Yep.
and like
Absolutely.
and take a call from outside, or make sure that you have gym time. It's incredibly important, because if you don't feel, if your body doesn't feel good, your mind doesn't feel good. If your mind doesn't feel good, you can't do your best work. So
It's so true. Take the reset. Make sure you're moving your body. And then what also is important to me is community. So I'm part of several women's boards. What I like to do every like month or so, I make dates with other women in the industry, and we go to the bathhouse in the Flatiron, and we're just
great.
talking and swimming and going to the sauna. So most people like Elizabeth, they know they'll see me at one of the Thursdays of the month because I'm a frequent flyer at the bathhouse. But that too is also a form of self-care.
It is. I think that's amazing. For those that are earlier or early mid in their career, what's some advice that you would give to them about mentorship, about guidance, about just asking for advice in general?
I think what's important now. So my nephew is getting his master's, and I've become, an unofficial mentor to him, but I am a mentor to many in the industry.
Yep.
I really love doing it. There's a few things. One, there's nothing beats an in-person interaction. If there's something that you're interested in, or you want to pivot into a certain part of the industry, you won't believe it or not, there are so many executives or mid-level managers that would absolutely love to get a message in their inbox that said, I've been looking at your work. I love that you did XYZ. Can we grab a cup of coffee and talk about that? And 9 times out of 10, I make the time,
Yep.
if I can, to meet those people so that, to give them a fresh perspective, because I just absolutely love that they've taken the initiative to reach out to me, to do some research, to learn about a certain part of the industry. Like, nothing irks me more when I get a LinkedIn request with no note. I'm like,
Of course.
why do you want to connect with me?
Yeah. What's your agenda? Like what? Like like if you want to be in my network, say hello. Don't just hit. Yeah.
It's like, oh, hello. Want to have a
Bingo.
conversation?
Bingo. That's what we're building here. It's a platform and community. It's a platform where mentees at different businesses talk to hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of experienced experts that are empathetic leaders and mentors that want to give back, where we're plugged into 50 different charities in real time. All the mentors and mentees have their one-on-one sessions. And then also on the back end, the mentees are able to basically get transcriptions of their guidance and feedback and what's next, and just overall a sentiment analysis. And so it's important that we're doing our best to help others throughout because it's a two-way street is what it comes out to.
Absolutely. And I learned from my mentees. Things are constantly changing, and I want to hear the perspective of those, just coming out of college or in their first few years of working, because they see it differently. They completely went through different experiences than we did. My nephew didn't get to go to his prom because of COVID. So
Yeah.
when you think about that, like, they have a totally different view on the job market. And, if you can give them some glimmer of hope or support, they're so appreciative.
Elizabeth, this has been awesome. Really appreciate the conversation. Appreciate you jumping on. Thank you so much. And we will talk to you soon.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank
Appreciate you.
you.